I've had quite a few people asking me when I'm going to do my next trick tutorials, and the answer is we're doing it now. So the reason I'm doing this tutorial is I've gone online to do some research on like Spang tutorials and stuff, and I'm seeing that there's not a lot of Spang specific trick tutorials out there. So I thought, you know what, I'll try and fill in the gaps, and if there's any other Spang tricks you'd like to see in future videos, let me know. But today's video, we're going to be doing a shoeshine. So a shoeshine, I'll put a video of it up on the screen right now. It's basically an eject into a rewind, and then you have like a transition period in the middle, and then you sort of just keep doing it back and forth. And this is one of my favorite Spang tricks to do because there's just so much versatility to it. And if you get to do it really clean and really fluently, I think it's one of the best looking Spang tricks out there, from my personal opinion anyway. And a very important tip when you're trying to do a shoeshine for the first time is make sure you've got your ejects and rewinds locked in, because that, trust me, that will help you quite a lot when learning to do the trick. Because as you can see in that video, you sort of swing out, and if you can get a clean swing with quite a bit of momentum and you can rewind it fairly cleanly as well, then it'll make your life a lot easier. So if you're not up to speed with rewinds and ejects, I'd suggest watching my video that I did on rewinds. Should be up on the screen somewhere, and it'll teach you the basics. When you build up the muscle memory of how to do ejects and rewinds, it should make your life a lot easier to do shoeshines basically. Obviously we're going to do a quad review today, so you guys know what I'm rocking. Frame wise, we're running a FrameX, as I've always done. 5-inch bando bashing frame, Truex. Can't fault it for anything. It's honestly a good all-round frame, and I can't recommend it enough for any 5-inch flying that you do. And for the batteries today, we are just using the CNHL 1300 mAh 6S packs. So the reason I'm ripping these packs today opposed to my SpeedyPizzas is because I've just come out for a bit of a chill fly, and I've just bought these more budget packs with me. So if you guys are on the market for a budget but well performing 6S pack for FPV freestyle, I gotta recommend the CNHL Black Series. Whereas if you're looking for something a bit more powerful and something a bit more juicy, then my classic SpeedyPizza Pros are what I definitely recommend to you. And as for propellers, we are using the HQProp J37s. Honestly, for Spang, I can't recommend anything better. So they've got such good agility and such good handling. And honestly, for Spang, these are the perfect props in my opinion, and I can't recommend them enough. So if you're looking for very juicy, very spangy props, I'd recommend the HQProp J37s, because these are literally my daily drivers. These are what I've been flying for the past 3-4 months now, so I can't recommend it enough. So to learn a shoeshine, location-wise, you don't need a lot. All you need really is just an object. So today I'll just be doing it around this tree, simply because there's not a lot of obstacles around it. So if you're doing your ejects and rewinds, there's less of a chance of it getting tangled. And ideally, that's what you want when you're learning a shoeshine, is give yourself plenty of space and just give yourself an object that's in the open like this tree. Right, let's get going, guys. We've just taken off, and I'm just going to walk you around the object that I'm going to be doing the shoeshine around. So it's just a tree fairly in the open, and to start learning shoeshines, there's not much more that you need. Literally just an object with plenty of space all the way around, so you've got enough space to do your ejects and your rewinds, and just so you don't really bump into anything when you're learning. So as I mentioned before, the shoeshine can be broken up into 3 different parts. So you've got the eject, where you go from the middle and you just eject outwards like that, and then you're going to have the rewind straight after. So if we just do the eject and the rewind, so you eject and you rewind, and then as you come back to the middle, you have this roll transition period where you go from one side to the other. So if we combine all of those together, we're going to go eject, rewind, and then you've got that transition period in the middle, and then you can start to eject outwards again. So one of the best tips I have for you to learn how to do a shoeshine is make sure that you've got your ejects and your rewinds locked in, because ideally you want to come back to the same spot that you start out with. So for example, if I eject here and I rewind it, we're fairly back into the same spot, as you can tell. And that is very, very important for a clean shoeshine, because you don't want to sort of eject out this way and then you rewind and then you're all the way away from the object, or you're still to the side of it. So for me, that is probably my most important tip, is make sure you can do rewinds and ejects comfortably and cleanly. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you a couple demonstrations of doing a shoeshine back and forth. I'm going to do it fairly slow to begin with, and then I'll ramp up the speed later on. So first of all, you've got the eject, you've got the rewind, and then you've got the transition period. You've got the eject, you've got the rewind, then you've got the transition period. You've got the eject, the rewind and the transition period. The thing is with the Shoeshine, you have to nail in your speed, because there's a specific speed where it becomes really easy, and if you try and do it quicker or you try and do it slower, it will become a bit harder to do. This is just me talking from my personal experience. Other people might have different stuff to say about it, but that's how I find Shoeshines basically. So you just got to find the speed that works for you. So if we go off to the other side, eject, rewind. So hopefully with the stick cam in the corner, you guys will probably get a better idea of how I'm able to do this. And another thing I wanted to talk about is I've seen from social media, there's two different ways that people tend to do Shoeshines. There's people who tend to do a quicker transition in the middle, or there's people who tend to do a slower transition in the middle. I prefer to do slow transition in the middle, but that's literally just come down to personal preference and honestly the flow and the line you're doing, because sometimes it's better to do a quicker one and sometimes it's better to do a slow one. So I'll give a demonstration of both. So a slower one is where you just eject, rewind, and in the middle you practically slow the drone down as you transition from one side to the other, and then you eject quickly again. So I'll give a demonstration of that now. So as you can see, I really slowed it down in the middle to make sure I have that control and I have that flow locked in. And the other way I've seen people do Shoeshines is they do the transition quite quickly in the middle, which can make it look a bit twitchy. So if that's the style, that's like the juicy, spangy flow you're trying to go for, it might be better for you to learn it that way. So I'll just give a demonstration of it now. So as you can tell, as I was in the middle, I tended to do a very, very quick transition to move away and eject. And it wasn't as clean as my slow one, because as you can tell, I prefer to do the slow ones, not the quicker ones, because sometimes in life you have to take things slower. Anyway, yeah, I just wanted to keep it short and simple today. Hopefully the stick cam should give you a better idea of how to do a rewind instead of me just waffling at you for 5 minutes. So that does it for the video today. Hope you guys have found it useful and enjoyed the video. As always, if you've got any questions, make sure you reach out to me in Instagram DMs or YouTube comments, because I'm quite active in both. And I'm thinking of doing a Spang tricks playlist where I go for a bunch of Spang tricks that you can learn. And if you guys like to see that, let me know in the comments, because I'm really, really keen to do that. But obviously, that's only if you guys would like to see content like that. Freestyle videos are still going to be coming, obviously. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say today. Hope you guys have a nice day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.